Now that the cutscene, I mean Destiny beta, is over faster than the Kardashian marriage, I'm going to give my impressions. The game is extremely confusing at first, and thankfully I had some people to help me out through the plethora of menus and inventory management shit. The first thing you could do after picking your class was to customize your character. Now, you guys know me. I could fucking care less about how my character looks since it's a first-person shooter game. But at least you could look at them in the third person when you're at the tower hub. Hee. What is the point, no pun intended, at doing actions like pointing, waving, and dancing? Do people actually respond when you do this shit to other characters in the game, or do they ignore you like you do to the homeless person when they ask for change? Anyways, what happens after character customization is a training level, in which you run around ad nauseum asking yourself, when do I get to actually play the fucking game? Finally, you finish it off and are allowed to join a fire team with your friends. I used to love RPG games back when I was younger and owned a Super Nintendo. Chrono Trigger, Secret of Mana, A Link to the Past, Final Fantasy 3. Well, it's really 6, but whatever. Go fuck yourself, San Diego. I sometimes now even go back and play those older games. I was never much into the fantasy genre, but for some reason, these particular games piqued my interest and kept me playing for hundreds of hours. This is something that intrigues me about the normal storyline mode in Destiny. It's like an RPG meets FPS, my two favorite gaming genres. Playing with my buddies and being the three best friends that anyone can have was actually really fun. We even did a mission on Moon, as you see in the background. Now, I did really enjoy the quote-unquote campaign, if you will, when I was playing with my friends. We even ran into some random events like this one, and it was cool to see multiple groups of people ganging up on a bad guy to take him down, just like your favorite porno scene. The problem is that this randomness is few and far between. I feel like I'm playing the Halo 3 campaign all over again in this game. There's an arrow on your screen letting you know exactly where to go, which defeats the purpose of the adventure you'd find in older RPG games. You'd have to talk to a few different people to figure out where the fuck you would need to go next, and you'd have to decipher coded messages and shit, just like I am error. Sure, you can explore some shit, but that only gets you some random items that you'll probably end up discarding anyways, or throwing it in the vault for reuse on the 32nd of never. These missions seem all the same. Get to an area, let some weird beepity-bop scan a thing that will tell you some more information, and kill all of the things that are trying to interrupt your quest, just like call waiting. It's very monotonous, and maybe Bungie has some other ideas up their sleeves for the missions, but right now, it's blander than white rice. I do like how some of the things are implemented in this game, though. Having engrams to buy and decode and, finding them on the ground in order to potentially get some rare or uncommon item is actually an awesome idea. It gives the game some semblance of randomness and adventure. And I love how the game looks. Holy shit, it's amazing. The colors, the texture, it really feels like you're in a different universe. It's like I'm watching Cosmos, but I'm playing the video game version of it. Unfortunately, that's where the positives stop. The thing that aggravates me the most is the fucking cutscenes or the loading screens. Holy shit, they're fucking annoying. I understand having some is necessary to move the narrative, but do we really need spaceships flying through a scene for multiplayer? Can't we just have the shit explained to us while we're running on the ground during the fucking campaign? There's plenty of downtime when you're trying to get to the fucking little white circle at the end of the fucking tunnel. Why are these loading screens even necessary? Is the VCR that underpowered in rendering the scenes? The revive system is strange in that anyone can revive someone an infinite number of times. The only way that your team dies is if you're in a restricted respawn area and everyone dies in the span of 30 seconds, which is not exactly easy to do since you could just run for cover like an OTEP song and have your teammate respawn next to you. Unless you're clearly overmatched, you won't have to restart at a checkpoint. Usually in an RPG game, there's a character on your team that's a healer, and that is the person responsible for reviving people and making sure that they don't die. But that brings me to another point. The classes. Is it really necessary to have 3 different classes in this game? Everyone uses the same weaponry and equipment. The only discernible differences for me are the melee attack and the supercharge ability. The melee attack is negligible because really you're just beating the shit out of somebody all the same. But the supercharger abilities really stand out as unbalanced, especially in multiplayer or the Crucible. The Titan class has that Donkey Kong-like ground pound, which is mostly useless since radar is always on except while you're crouching. The only way you could actually kill somebody is to get close to them, and the only way to get close to them is to run at them. And when you run at them, motherfuckers can see you coming on the radar. The Hunter uses a golden gun-esque pistol that can kill at long range, and the Warlock that throws some purple shit at you like the Sunny D commercial. I can see how some of the differences can affect maybe the normal game, but in the Crucible, all the stats are plateaued evenly. This leaves the supercharger abilities as the differences, which clearly favors the Warlock and Hunter over the Titan. Now, there's a reason why I left the multiplayer review so far late in this commentary. Kayla is not impressed. The multiplayer feels like playing Battlefield Bad Company 2 on the Xbox 360. Yes, it looks cool, but it feels clunky as an AT-AT, and that's its biggest downfall. This game feels extremely dated, even though it looks amazing. Your character doesn't look as fast side to side when you're running as you do walking. It's just so fucking clunky. Plus, the radar is always on, which makes this game a very tactical shooter like Halo, instead of an all-out run and gun fest like Call of Duty or Battlefield or Titanfall. The time to kill is much faster than Halo, but still not as fast as those other games. If you enjoy Halo, you might like the multiplayer aside from the clunkiness of the character. That's really the main thing that I fucking hate about the multiplayer. It feels so fucking clunky and molasses. I mean, there's only two things slower than the controls in this game: evolution and erosion. The Venus map is the only decent one. Mars is meh, as the B flag is kind of a clusterfuck, which is cool, but the camp is real on that map. And Moon, it fucking sucks. You're watching it in the background. It is so fucking big, it feels like being on a goddamn treadmill every time you spawn in on it. No, I do not want to spawn in the grundle of the map every time I have to fucking get on my next life. Plus, the vehicles are annoying as shit. You do get rockets, however, they need a certain type of ammo which only drops at a specific timer interval. When it's needed is at the very start of the match, because that's when everybody hops in the fucking vehicles. During the middle of the match, people are spread out at different spawn points, not near the vehicles, and oh, guess what? That's when you get the fucking heavy ammo. The only good thing about different ammo is the sniper rifles. Yeah, they're a pain in the ass, since it's basically a side weapon and a one-shot kills anywhere from the fucking femur up. But since they have special ammo, it's not nearly as bad or spammable. I'm going back to GameStop and canceling my pre-order for Destiny. Not just because I think pre-ordering games is leading to the denigration of the quality of the products, but this game just doesn't do it for me. The multiplayer is so 5 years ago, and the campaign mode, while fun with friends, is as repetitive as doing wedding thank you cards. I used to love RPG games in the past, but I guess I've just grown out of that phase as I've gotten older with my games. I got enough on my to-do list. I don't need some more inventory management shit in my life. Let me know what you guys think about the Destiny beta if you've played it. I've been the Schwantz27, out like Donald Sterling and the Clippers organization. Until next time.